Hello there. This is Jaina with another quick Q&A for you. This is less of a Q&A and more of an experiential story that I'm about to tell you. And right there it says MTFs, but it can apply to all sorts of transgender based bathroom experiences. I will be speaking, of course, from the context of male to female. You are transitioning and presenting publicly, and you just simply gotta go. It's a very basic human function, and you cannot deny it or hold it, because that is very unhealthy and even dangerous. So, what do you do? I'm about to lay it out all on the table and share with you a shocking surprise for me on this whole issue and why it isn't a big deal as I thought it is or would be. Oh my god, let's begin. So, a few months into me coming out to myself, and then eventually coming out to others, and then coming out to the world, I realized I will one day in the far, far, far future need to use the restroom while I am out in public. How the hell do I do that? And from day one, when that concept and idea was presented to me, I started having terrible fear about it. Like spiky, stabby fear. I call it the stabby stabs. My wife knows what that means. Like if I'm feeling really anxious, worried, panicked, stressed, I get the stabby stabs or the stabby ickies or the icky ickies. Either way, it's a terrible sensation of dread, fear, and panic of an uncertain fate of, well, being called out in the restroom and then having the authorities called and then being handcuffed and whisked away. No, not really. Those are just products of my imagination. The brain loves to play tricks sometimes, and it can be a really funny storyteller. Um, but yes, the woman's bathroom. I, in my mind, thought this would be the number one biggest obstacle, hurdle to overcome, and I could not have been more wrong. Back in the early days, I put using the bathroom up here and like voice training down here. Like I saw myself sooner like wait, what was I about to say with that? I was more worried about using the restroom than maintaining a female voice and having people catch on to it. And I'm hoping that you already know my experience on the female voice thing. If not, I'll tell you in a little bit. But continuing on, I thought bathrooms was the worst. Skipping ahead, it accidentally happened. And here's what happened. So, for starters, I thought that I would take like a year or two to go out publicly presenting as female. I thought that I would fly stealth for a long time as I got on hormones and wait until my physical appearances matched what I thought I should look like before presenting publicly, to avoid the whole awkward things if someone notices you might be biologically male or biologically female if you're FTM. And that didn't happen at all. I dove headfirst into presenting full time. It was one day I was just like, my friend Angie, who is an amazing makeup artist, she did my makeup. She did the purplish photo you might have seen if you're on Reddit. That post got a lot of karma. The purple photo of my first day fully presenting as female. We were hanging out, smoking a little bit of substances, and I was just like, you know what? That's it. Right now, I'm full time. And she's like, awesome, that's amazing. I'm so proud of you. Like, so what are you gonna do about the bathroom thing? I'm like, I came to a halt. I'm like, I don't know. I'm just going to go out into public in short bursts and come back and use the restroom. Just make sure I'm always by my own personal restroom. And she's like, that's kind of limiting, huh? I'm like, Yeah, it's very limiting. I I guess I have to revise my schedule because I do not want to be in that situation where I have to use the women's restroom and I'm presenting. I mean, I can't use a male restroom either because that would be super awkward. So what do I do? And she's like, "Well, just start out by not worrying about it and just go out and play it by ear." And she said, "If it ever comes up where you have to use the restroom, then just make a beeline for that stall and get there and then like wash your hands and hide yourself and get out of there as fast as possible." I'm like, "Oh no, I can never do that. I can never do that." So I managed to avoid having to use the restroom in public for about a week or two. And then I'm out. And then this is odd. This is where it gets like, wait, what the hell just happened? I'm out. I have to use the restroom. And instinctively, I go to the woman's restroom, walk in, walk straight to that stall, use it, walk out, done. Now, there were no people around. And then only when I got out of that restroom, I realized, oh my god, I followed the woman's sign and I just used the woman's restroom. Oh my god. Hence, it happened accidentally. Like, wait, I just did it once. Could I do that again? Especially when people are around? And I did. And I know I'm kind of killing the hype and the buzz here, but it was really, really easy. This is the message I'm here to preach today for my fellow transgender amazing people. The restroom predicament, unless you're in a very unsafe area, whether like politically or progress liber conservatively, that's what I meant to say, or maybe it's like a dive bar and a bunch of bro dudes or chicks are like drunk and ready to cause drama, unless it's unsafe, you just do it. You just go in and you do it. Here's what you do. My friend Angie was just making shit up on the spot, but her words really helped. You go to the stall and you just like walk and you do not turn your head to any other person. That's step one. You go in, just go to the stall. If there's a line, stand up tall, face the stall, kind of away from people, and just wait. People do not go into restrooms to people watch. Have you noticed that before? Nobody is looking around at what other people are wearing or checking other people out in restrooms. It just doesn't happen. There's this social rule that is unspoken. If you're in a restroom, you keep your eyes to yourself. And that works in our benefit. So, as long as like the whole of you looks similar to the gender you're presenting as, you will fit right in. There's people aren't naturally wired to question other people's gender because it is so uncommon. So unless someone looked you in the eye and saw like the facial shadow or saw a huge Adam's apple or something, even then you're I mean, even then that won't tip you off right away or tip them off right away. It's so easy. You go in and then you wash your hands because we are sanitary individuals. We do not want to spread germs. Please do not make a beeline straight out of the stall. No, wash your hands for the sake of others. And it's not that difficult because yes, there are mirrors everywhere, and so people have a lot of angles to see you, but again, they're not looking at you. They're minding their own business. They're probably wondering when their next mortgage payment is due or something like that. It's not a big. I've only been called out once in a woman's restroom. Only once. And I've been presenting full time for, is it 4 months now? Like, I've used the restroom probably over 100 times by now, or maybe less, maybe 50. I'm not going to do the bathroom math on that. But I've never had one negative experience. Even when I didn't put on makeup. I seriously, when I didn't put on makeup, maybe I'm wearing one of my boy tops because I'm just in comfy mode. I don't know. But I've never been questioned in the restroom except once, and this lady had something interesting with her, and I'll try to remember that story. Too bad I can't pause. But I'll tell you that story right now in my best of ability. I went into the restroom. This was the only time. Now, mind you, by the way, warning in bathroom talk incoming. Mind you, I have always been a sitter when I use the stall restroom. I never used urinals, even as a so-called cisgender male. I never use a stand-up because that just seems so gross and yucky. Yeah, ugh. No, I always sit down. But in rare situations, I do stand up. Okay, so I'm in a stall, I'm in a hurry, I'm stressed, and for the first time and only time, I stand up and urinate. Now, of course, the trick is to urinate on the sides of the toilet and not into the water so it does not make that splashy sound, okay? So that's step number one, which I did. And step number two, close, if you do this, close the bathroom lid. Nothing calls you up more than an open lid because women don't use the toilet like that. And then that wash your hands and that's it. Now, the only time I stood up to urinate in a stall, another woman took notice. And I left and she was just very mindful about her opinions and stuff. She said, "You're a dude?" Because she happened to see my feet facing the toilet. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why. But you're a dude? I feel so unsafe. And I'm called out. But because I have had experiences with people calling me out or negativity or I did not overreact. I simply turned to her, says, "No, I am female. A female who was unfortunately born with a male's penis. And I feel unsafe in this restroom because you appear to be watching me use it. Goodbye." And I was finished up washing my hands. I walk out of there. I don't know where that came from, but it was effective because before she could say anything else, I was gone. And maybe you might want to commit that one to memory because it asserts your rights to use that restroom. At the same time, giving them a burn that will sizzle for a long time, but it's not aggressive and it's not like super confrontational. You state truths. I'm a woman who happened to have unfortunately been born with a male penis. And I feel unsafe that you are. Now that part is optional, but you can use it too. I only said that because she said she was unsafe, which is really now. Would a cisgender male be looking to cause harm in a woman's bathroom by going on full presentation as female? I just don't understand her logic. But that was my only one negative experience in the restroom, and I was done with. I've developed this I'll just say a no fucks given attitude about all things presenting. People have a right. This is my personal mantra and belief. People have a right to have their own opinions. People have a right to, you know, not understand where you are coming from. And people do unfortunately have a right of freedom of speech to express it. That is not like a universal flaw or anything. It doesn't mean that they are terrible human beings. It could, depending on what they say, but people have a right, and I give people their right to answer or ask me any question they want answered as long as it's respectful. Otherwise, I will ignore it. And people have a right to say something, and I will say something back. And this is coming from the most non confrontational girl. Dare I say, I grew some balls in my whole coming out process and presentation process. I grew balls that I've never had before in my confidence. And this confidence, and why I explained all that, is to tell you get that no fucks given attitude. You are female. There is no doubt about it. You are female, or if you are FTM, you are a male. And you are entitled to the privileges, at least in this country, to use whatever restroom you identify with. Like, that is our right. Um, And people will likely just expect people to say something and always just be prepared to deal with the situation, but never respond in anger. Respond firmly, but never in anger because that feeds the trolls, so to speak. One moment while I gather my thoughts. Develop this no fucks given attitude, but don't make it snarky or um, like ultra critical. Just be prepared for people to ask questions and be ready with answers. I love questions because questions show genuine interest as long as they are coming from a sincere place in their hearts. And when people call me out or notice, I always state I am female, but I never state I am transgender unless they ask specifically. And when they do, I am very happy to say, yes, I am transgender. What would you like to know about it? And I always say, what would you like to know about it? Because I want to educate, and I am an advocate. I am a supporter. I am passionate about the TG community, and I love answering questions. So I always encourage them. And people, I've met some really interested people. And I've come to a place where it's like, I wish people would confront me more. Not like the experience in the bathroom, but confront me more. Like, some one lady, she's like, Jaina, I don't know if this is like not cool or whatever, a faux pas, a social error, but is it okay if I ask you what was your birth name? And I'm like, thank you for asking. First of all, thank you for asking. That is so respectful. And it shows me that you are genuinely interested. So I said, it's a question most people probably wouldn't want to hear. But for me personally, I would love to hear it. I would love to answer. Yes, my name was Jason. And she lit up when I told her. I skipped ahead. Actually told her to have three guesses. I said, okay, guess what my name is, and she actually answered with Jason on her third guess. That was really cool, but that's a separate story. That was Geraldine, by the way. There's an episode on how I met her at the bank. So yeah, people are cool. Like, people are cooler than we give credit for. There are assholes, so many assholes, and there are very unsafe people out there, but there are more cool people than you think in the right area. So if you're worried about this whole bathroom topic, don't be worried. Like, don't. Even if you feel that you look fugly, even if you feel that you will never pass in a million estrogen pills or testosterone pills, like, don't just don't worry about it. Go into the restroom, make a straight line for the stall, get your business done, and get out of there. It is so easy to use the restroom. Right now, months into presenting and months into being full time, I don't even think about it. I have to go. I use the right restroom, and unless of course, it's full and the male restroom is available, then I'll use that one. But everyone does that, not just transgender people. And I do want to extend this opportunity for you to ask me absolutely any crazy, obscure question, sincere question that you would like. I will answer it for you. So I'm opening that up. I'm excited for what people might ask, but unfortunately, this little tiny humble channel of mine is getting a meager beginning, and not many people are asking these questions. So I invite you to ask if you happen to see this. Alright, that is all. I hope you enjoy, and remember, kick that restroom's ass. Bye bye.